Good morning, everyone. We're back and we're going to continue from the first video where we're building our shaft support right here. And we're going to look at how to pull that into a drawing file, create a section view, and then dimension the part. All right. So if you click to open this guy up, it brings you back into the 3D drawing file. Close down my toolbar, and you'll see a little plus sign next to your part studio that says insert new element. When you hover over it, left click on that and then create drawing. All right, so right here, I have this one open because this is the one we always use, but if you're first time coming here, you're going to have look at it and it'll have all of these. We can narrow it down by clicking on ANSI, and that stands for the American National Standard Institute. That's kind of who dictates our drawing parameters, how drawings look. And there's four different sizes that are loaded. There's a size A, B, C, and then D. We're going to be working right here in ANSI B in inches, because you remember our shaft support was in inches. All right, so clicking OK brings us into the drawing file. All right, and they're nice enough to go ahead and load right here the part that we want to bring in. So we can click on that, and it gives us our part. Leave it alone for a little bit and it loads a preview. So this is our front view of our part. So we want to plant that on the page somewhere, anywhere we like. So put it right here. And then when we pull it out, it will give us our right side view. And if we needed to beyond this, we could pull it up and get a top view. But with this piece, both of those views are going to be the same. So we're just going to keep our right side view. Right, and before we exit, we need to click on that front piece one more time because we need an isometric view. And these live up in the corner. Right. Oh, we want that isometric view, so when we send this parts, and then we can hit escape. We want this isometric view, so when we send these parts to the manufacturer, he has a good idea of what he's aiming for. He's got the 2D drawings that show him height and width and height and depth. But he wants to be able to see exactly what it's going to look like. So one more thing we need to do is right click on that part and show shaded view. Right, that again brings it to the most realistic view of that part. All right, so we're almost here. We can move these around if we don't like where we originally planted them. The one next to it will snap to it. But you'll notice a quick difference in this right side view and the right side view from our assignment. It has a lot more lines within it, right? So this is a section view. All of these crosshatch lines are showing where you have cut through material, section AA. You've cut through material and you're looking into it. You've kind of bisected the piece, right? And it shows the holes, it shows everything. And the white area is where you're going through a hole, so you're not directly cutting through material. And again, the hatched area is where you're cutting through material. So we want to make ours look like that. This doesn't show as much. Right, so we go up here to our tools, and there's one called section view. Click on that. We're already vertical. That's exactly what we want. If we're on the next one, we can name it BB. So this is going to be section AA because it's our first one. Bring it to the center of my front view. I left click. And then when I drag it out, I get a right side section view. That's what I want, called section AA. All right, so escape out of our tool. Now I can delete that right side view. So I'm going to zoom in and let's work on dimensioning this guy. All right, so the dimensions, we don't want to over dimension. We don't want the same dimension more than once. But we do want enough dimensions that the parts manufacturer is not calling us all the time asking questions, right? We want to give him everything he needs to do it right. So up here is our dimension tool. And I'm going to start over here on my front view. And I'm going to dimension all of the major diameters, right? So 16 inches. Next one in is 9 inches. And I'm pulling it out with good spacing, easy to read. The inner one is 4 inches. So with this one, I don't want to squeeze it in here where it's too tight. I don't want to cross over lines where it's confusing to see what we're looking at. All right, keep it uniform, make it look neat. Right, there are snaps that will help to guide you if you need it, like I do. Right, so I have my major. This is my outside diameter. This is showing this kind of outcropped piece, and this is showing the through hole. All right, now I want to dimension these small holes. And there's no need for me to dimension every single one. Go 2 and 2 and 2. That's a waste. So let me delete those. And what we can do, right here, this little toolbar pops up. Hover over it, and it shows my 2-inch diameter. But I can make a note. 4 times, right? 4 times that hole at a 2-inch diameter. Right, that's what I need. So now I'm going over here. This is everything I want to label over here. Now I want to label, so I'm going to label the axis that those holes appear on by going back to my diameter tool and just attaching to the center point right here. All right, and I'm pulling that out. And I'm going to add the symbol diameter to that. All right, that shows it's a 12-inch diameter axis. All right, this, and then I'm going to dimension this counter bore hole. All right, and again, I'm going to add the diameter symbol to that as well. It's a counter bore of 6 inches, 6-inch diameter. All right, now I need to show the overall thickness of my piece. 5 inches, pulling that up here. Now I need to show the thickness of this flange. All right, see, my 1 inch doesn't fit in there, so I'm going to pull it over here and plant it out here. That's just fine. All right, and now I need to know how deep this counter bore goes. We'll learn some symbols that will help us show that this is a counter bore and how deep it goes. But for now, I'm just going to highlight, instead of highlighting the depth here, where it'd get a little busy if I put it up here, even if I pulled it out, it's still going to get a little busy. You don't want dimension lines crossing extension lines. Down here, you're running into your title, so I don't want that at all. All right, so escape out of that. Go back to my dimension tool. I'm just going to highlight the width of this flange. All right, and that tells me that if the piece is 5 inches total and that flange that we left is 1 inch, then that depth is 4 inches. Okay, so this gives you your entire dimension drawing. From this, we could send this piece or this drawing to the manufacturer, and he will give this back to us. All right, so this is everything you need to know on how to create a drawing file, pull in your part, set up your views, create a section view, and then dimension your drawing. All right, thank you for joining.